another Arrow episode review. My thoughts on tonight's episode of Arrow titled Code of Silence. And this season so far, I mean, like since the mid-season premiere, I feel like it's been a really slow burn. And I mean, so far these last two episodes have been pretty good. This one was good, not great, but good. Some problems I have with it, because I feel like this season is moving along a little too slow, in my opinion. I mean, I understand why, because I feel like, even though the showrunners probably won't admit it, they probably did get a lot of backlash because of how Season 3 was, and how they misused Ra's al Ghul, and how they whitewashed him, and, well, I'm not going to go into all that, but I feel like so far this season, they really just took a step back, and were like, well, we need to, really reevaluate things, change it up a little bit. That's why they introduced Damien Dark in the first episode, and he's been in pretty much every single episode. But you know what? Like, this episode, even though it wasn't a filler, but it wasn't like, it didn't move the plot along of the season, but at the same time, it felt like a little, I don't know, like, it's kind of hard to describe this episode, but I mean, there's some enjoyment to be had. It was really just a so-so episode. Again, like, not like bad necessarily. And I'll admit, even some of the stuff on the island, I kind of liked, but not for the reason like I like all the island stuff was really well written and all that stuff. Well, first of all, the one there's a couple major issues that I had with tonight's episode. The first of which being, I still don't buy into this whole Donna and Lance Felicity's mom and Officer Lance or Captain Lance relationship. I just feel like that was kind of came out of nowhere, and now all of a sudden they love each other, and it hasn't even been like that long. And I understand like Felicity's mom's apprehensions when he starts lying to her, and she sees right through it. Like I understand like that part of it, and seeing how like this show, when it comes to the male characters and they're lying just to protect another female character, that's been a story thread throughout every single season, whether it's Oliver or Roy or I don't know, Quentin Lance or whatever. I just feel like that. The romance is still it hasn't grown on me. I don't believe it. I don't believe that the romance is really there. I just feel like the writers was kind of like, oh well, people who should be together, let's just make it happen and see what happens. And to me, it's just, I don't know. It takes me out of it a little bit. The other major issue I had was just the villain on the island, Ryder. I've said it before, I'll say it again. These flashbacks, they just need to stop. I mean, they're not moving they're not moving the characterization of Oliver forward. It feels like a completely different show when the flashbacks are going on. Like, even when in season 1, when the flashbacks are going on, they were like furthering the story, like seeing where Oliver was 5 years ago compared to where he is now. And now it's just like, that's just, I feel like they're only doing it because they've been doing it, so they're like, oh, well, we kind of have to finish the story on the island. And it's not compelling anymore, and there doesn't have to be there doesn't have to be a villain every time Oliver's on the island. There really doesn't have to be. And something that's really annoying to me, because it's like, at the end of season 2, there's like all those survivors of the freighter. Like, what happened to them? Are they just like ignoring the fact that all those guys were there? And like, how does Oliver become a Bratva captain? Granted, we still have like another like year and a half or so before like Oliver gets to the point where we saw him in the beginning of season 1. But I don't know. This villain, and seeing how he was and how he's like believes in destiny and all this crap. And yeah, it's just weird and it's stupid. I don't like it. But that being said, the stuff on the island when with Oliver finally killing the guy Conklin. I liked that bit a little bit. First of all, I never liked Conklin as a character. He was annoying. It's just that was another part of the flashbacks. Every time I saw it, I was like, dude, this is getting so annoying, so old. So I'm glad they finally got rid of his character because that was annoying. But yeah, leading into some of the other things I actually enjoyed about this episode. In the beginning, when we see like Damien Dark and his wife going down to that Hive meeting and Merlin's there. And first of all, if you guys didn't watch, you guys probably didn't. If you guys watched my review of last week's episode, I went on a little bit about how I'm tired of Merlin as a character because he's he's like a two-faced little bitch. I mean, I don't like using that language, but he is just like, he's not. The moment things don't go his way, he runs like, I'm not telling on you, and like that's all he did. Like, and now he's like a part of Hive now. Like, come on, like seriously, like give John Barrowman more to work with. Like, he's a great actor. His character deserves more than to be treated the way he's being treated. And I hate that, because Malcolm Merlin was a character that I really, really enjoyed first season, and even little bits and pieces he was in second season. And now in third season, from third season until now, it's just like, okay, like I'm over Malcolm Merlin. Like I'm whatever. Anyways, back to what I actually enjoyed. The fight choreography, because this episode was directed by the show's lead stunt choreographer, and of course, he directed one of the episodes of the season already. In this episode, like, obviously, with all the action scenes, the fight choreography, like, that was already amazing. I mean, this show, the one positive throughout the entire show has been the fight choreography. And this episode, it's even then, like, seeing Team Arrow in action. That's one of my favorite things about this season, is seeing Oliver, Speedy, Oliver, Thea, Diggle, Laurel, all in action and going out in the field. Like, that I really like seeing that, and seeing them going after the demolition team. I could have done with the whole demolition team thing, but I did like how, like, they introduced another stupid villain of the week, kind of, but they put him so far aside that they weren't, like, they were kind of moving the plot along in the episode, but not really. But yeah, I like seeing the team in action. Again, the flashbacks are okay. Thea, I like Thea in this episode. Her digging into the whole, like, the check that Oliver's mom left for Oliver's baby mama, Samantha, and her finding out that, she's putting two and two together, like, she had a baby not too long after that check was given. She never cashed it, and she puts two and two together, like, that's your son, Oliver. But then something that was kind of weird to me is she says, like, oh, sometimes you gotta lie to protect people. And I guess that was, like, the theme of the episode. You have to lie to protect the people you care about. But I feel like that's been like every season there has to be an episode like that. But and I like the dynamic of seeing dynamic of Thea and Oliver, because I feel like that's something that I kind of missed from the first couple of seasons of Arrow, and seeing, like, before, like, Thea knew about Oliver being Arrow. Like, seeing their relationship as brother and sister, I liked seeing here. I liked seeing it, and I feel like because they're so focused on the missions now, like, that relationship isn't as prominent as I would want it to be. But seeing it in this episode, I actually really liked it. What else? Again, like, that final scene when, right before the debate, when, like, all the team defused all the bombs in the building, that was pretty cool. And again, the fight choreography, as I already said. And something that made me kind of happy, and the Curtis Holt character has been he's been a character that, for me, I've been kind of on the fence on, because I know, like, he's supposed to be, like, this, like, Arrow's version of Mr. Terrific. I don't know why they introduced this character, and they could have just gone with another character and have him be Curtis Holt, or Curtis something else, Curtis Smith or something, and it would have been the same character, and it would have been fine, but the fact that they're, like, hinting that he's supposed to be Mr. Terrific, and he has his T-spheres and all that crap. But anyways, when he gave Felicity the biostimulant to help her walk, that was really, I wasn't expecting that, and the fact that he's been spending this time the last few weeks, like, working on it, and, like, he still doesn't know if it's gonna work. Arrow being Arrow, and it's probably gonna end up working to some extent or whatever. But that was a really sweet moment. I liked seeing that from the character. And no, that was just like a happy ending to the episode up until, when we find out that Damien Dark kidnaps Oliver's son. I want to know what's gonna happen with that, and what's gonna happen with William's mom, if she's dead, or if Dark kidnapped her. I'm looking forward to seeing that. So with that being said, I think that's going to be it for me for this week's review. If you guys like what you see here, go ahead and hit subscribe below. I review all these shows every week. I review Supergirl on Mondays, Flash on Tuesdays, Arrow on Wednesdays, The Legend of Tomorrow on Thursdays. And for you guys who probably know this already, next week they're featuring the character of Vixen, who, if you guys don't know, she had her own little animated web series about 6 months ago, which is set in the Arrow and Flash universe, where, is about this character named Mario McCabe, and she, like, gets this magical totem that gives her, like, the abilities to harness the abilities of other animals, and she's coming into the show in her first live action appearance, and I'm really looking forward to that, because even though the web series wasn't exactly what I expected it to be, well, lengthwise, I really enjoyed it, but I'm really looking forward to seeing her in next week's episode. I really hope that she's going to be more featured than John Constantine was in his episode. That'll probably end up being the case. But although, no matter what, I'm looking forward to next week's episode. So again, if you guys want to give this video a thumbs up, comment below. What do you guys think of the episode? Did you guys like it? If you guys have any problems with it, let me know. So yeah, that's going to be it for me. So until next time, guys, Have a good one.